Kanye West is on yet another Twitter meltdown. This is one of his numerous Twitter meltdowns that he's been on, and just meltdowns in general. If you know Kanye, you know he's one of those guys that just every couple of months or every couple of years, he wants to go and rant about some bullshit that he is thinking about at the moment, just tweeting out his thoughts. And I mean, that's what Twitter's for, but he uses it in a very interesting way. And today he went on Twitter at about 1 in the morning CST. I'm in Central Standard Time. He went on Twitter about 1 in the morning, started tweeting, and pretty much has not stopped since then. It is now almost 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and he is still on Twitter, still ranting about whatever. I was going to get on this video and talk about everything that he said, but then I was scrolling through it just now and it gave me a headache. Honestly, like my head began to hurt reading all of these tweets. And not only that, but it was just so much. There is so much content to unpack within his tweets today that there's no reason for me to go through all of those tweets. I'm just going to go through a few of them. I'm going to start off with where the meltdown started at. First off, it started off with Puff We Love You, meaning Puff as in Sean Diddy Combs. It started off with that, Puff We Love You. This was tweeted again 1:30 in the morning, February 7th, 2025. This was the very, very beginning of what started a long meltdown. Again, that Kanye is still going on right now in this very moment. It has been over 12 hours and he's still going on this meltdown. But yeah, he started off with saying, Puff, we love you. One of the replies is like, we, which is funny as hell. He also tweeted again right after that, I stood up for Puff and I'm still winning 20 Grammys next year and doing the Super Bowl. We know neither of those things are going to happen. As much as Kanye is an indigenist, we know that he is not going to win 20 Grammys next year. His music is extremely washed, and on top of that, he's not going to win any Grammys off of that. He's not going to do the Super Bowl. Let's be fucking for real here. He went on with another tweet that he has said since, like, I don't know, 2016 during his St. Pablo tour. I think that might be like the first time that he talked about this. I think he said this on tour, and I quote, this is a Kanye quote, slavery is a choice. He's been on a rant about that. He went on a rant about that in 2016. He then went on another rant about that in 2018. You know, he loves ranting about that. It's like his favorite rage bait to say nowadays. He then went on a few hours later, like 4 hours later, into his little rage session. I turned down 3 photos this week with Make-A-Wish children in wheelchairs. Just bizarre for him to say, but it gets worse. It definitely does get worse. A couple hours after that, he then went on to say, and again, these are just quotes. These are not from my mouth. I am saying them, but I am just repeating things that Kanye said. Kanye says, I love Hitler. Now what, bitches? Then Kanye goes on to say, I'm a Nazi. Now, that is just a fucking bizarre statement to make, but these are something that Kanye tweeted word for word. He did say he is a Nazi, word for word. He said that. He also tweeted directly after that, I say whatever the fuck I want, pussies. Yeah, and then he keeps going. He goes on and says all white people are racist, talks about newsflash, white people and Jewish people are different. You can get money with Jewish people, but they always gonna steal and invite you over to their house on Friday. White people do not fuck with N-words. They leave that to the Jews. If you think you're getting money with a white person, it's not true. That so-called white person is actually Jewish. Jews hate Jews hate whites because of the Germans from World War II. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. He, of course, you know, he's been on these rants about Jews for the longest now. That continued within this Twitter rant. So many things with Jews were posted throughout his tweets. I'm not going to repeat most of them, but you can go to his Twitter account and read them yourself. I wouldn't recommend it. It's a lot to unpack and it's honestly too much, but if you want to go check it out, you can. He then went on to say, which I actually found this one very funny, I'm not going to lie. Some of these tweets admittedly were funny because of how bizarre they were. He went on to say, Elon stole my Nazi swag at the inauguration. Yo, my guy, get your own third rail, which was actually kind of hilarious. I'm not going to lie, because we all know Elon did the Nazi salute at the inauguration for whatever reason. To this day, I still don't know why Elon did that, but Kanye said, you're stealing my swag, bro. Just relax a little bit, which I did admittedly find pretty funny. And then this just happened 30 minutes ago after filming this video. This literally just happened. He said, Me Too was a woke agenda. You bitches were not R word. I'm sure you can figure out what that R word is. Pardon me. Let me put this in all caps. You, Me Too, Bitches did not get R word. You extorted N words. N words means men. Bitches means bitches. I mean, it just keeps going. He also, I completely forgot to mention too that he did drop Diddy merch. He has a collab with Sean John, which is Diddy's clothing brand company, whatever, blah blah blah. There's just so much to unpack here. It's just Kanye going on yet another Kanye rant. He's been doing this for years. It all started back in like '08 or '09. You know, we had the there's just a lot that I don't even want to repeat, but you know, one of the most famous incidents was the one with Taylor Swift. I think that's like kind of early on to when he first started going on these rants. He had the same Pablo tour breakdown in 2016, where he had to cancel a lot of shows. He also had the 2018 Slavery Was a Choice. And then, you know, 2022, he went on his little anti-Semitic rants. Oops, sorry about that. That was really loud. But anyway, it's Kanye. He's been doing this for many, many years now. It's nothing new. I think one of the things that surprises me the most is that people still get surprised by the fact that he's doing this. Like, people are in his replies saying, like, no, yay, please stop. Like, and just a lot of people on Twitter are, like, extremely shocked at the fact, or at the content of what he's saying. But, I mean, how can you be surprised? He's been showing signs of mental illness for many, many, many years now. Literally, like, almost 2 decades, he's been showing signs of mental illness. This is not something that's surprising at all if you kind of have a brain. Like, yeah, we know. I know for a lot of people it's shocked because, like, he made such great music, used to make such great music, like, you know, way back in the day. You know, he had the most insane run of albums consecutively, back to back to back to back, so many great albums back to back. So I guess because he made such a great art piece, people are like kind of shocked that someone who made something so great can also say things that are so bad. But I mean, it's Kanye West, it's Ye, we're used to this now. Like, it's been happening again for so many years. Some of the things that he said on Twitter were just very, very bizarre. At the same time, like, you know, I can kind of see why people were surprised, but at the same time, I just don't, because again, he's been going on these rants for forever. This is nothing new. He's said some very, very racist things over the last few years. He's said some very bizarre shock factor statements that just should never be said by someone, especially someone in his position. But I guess someone in his position, he did rant a lot about being a billionaire. I guess if you're a billionaire and you've gotten away with saying these things in the past, why does it really matter, you know? But at the end of the day, if I'm being completely honest, my thoughts on it, I just think that it's kind of poor rage bait now. We've seen Kanye go on these rants before, but I think the more that he does it, the less effect that it has and the less like severe it is. And I think now it's getting to the point where it's like, dude, you're like the guy who cried wolf. Like, you keep saying these things, but at this point, I mean, I know for most people he's still getting a lot of attention, and I know here I am creating this whole video over it, so obviously it's rustling some feathers. But for me personally, I'm kind of just like, why is anyone surprised at this? Like, it is just obvious rage bait. There are people who are very good at rage bait, and then there's Kanye, who's kind of, I think he used to be a good rage baiter if it was rage bait back then when he said some of these things. But now it's kind of just blatantly obvious. Like, we know what you're trying to do. You're just trying to rustle some feathers. You're trying to gain some publicity, put some views out there that are just bizarre on purpose. He's going against the grain on everything that is seen as normal nowadays. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Again, I personally don't think he means or believes a lot of the things that he is currently saying on Twitter and the things that he said over the last couple of years. Like I said, if I'm being honest, I don't believe that he believes these things, but he's saying them. And I think I think it's just rage bait. I think he's out there to get some clicks, get some views, and you know, he's probably going to be promoting something aside from the Diddy collab with his website. He's probably going to be promoting something else in a couple of weeks' time that will be more popular than it would have been had he not said all this bizarre stuff that he just said on Twitter. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. This is nothing new from Kanye. He's an idiot. Don't get me wrong. He's an idiot. But at the same time, like I said, if you can get away with it and you're still going to be a billionaire, which is kind of the mindset that he's in, I guess to him, why not do it? He wants to say some things. Just let him say it. It's really not like, as much as we would like to say like, oh, he's going to like be canceled or anything like that. The dude is going to have the same exact career he had before making any of these statements anyway. So at the end of the day, if those are his opinions, I guess he's free to express them. And yeah, it is just Kanye being Kanye, to me, it's failed rage bait. It didn't really rustle any feathers with myself. It doesn't surprise me anymore. I don't know how people are still getting so upset about it. But if you look at Twitter right now, there is a lot of commotion going on. A lot of people saying, why would my goat do this, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people saying it's hard to be a Ye fan in 2025. Like, yeah, I could understand where you're coming from, but his music is kind of washed now, let's be real. As much as I think he is one of the greatest artists of our generation, his music is a little bit washed now. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say. I kind of just wanted to come and talk about this to you guys because, wow, I mean, it is kind of like one of the trending topics right now. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone's posting screenshots about it and just kind of going on. And it is crazy. But I'm going to go ahead and end this video there. Yeah, Kanye, you are a fucking idiot. But at the same time, I mean, I think you're just doing this for clicks and views. I don't think you really believe anything that you're actually saying. Let's be realistic here. Like, you don't agree with anything you're saying. Maybe not all of it. He probably agrees with some of the things that he's saying, but I think a lot of it is just to get clicks and views. And I think he's doing it pretty well, I guess. Somehow people are still falling for this bait, but at some point we got to get to a point where he continues to do these rants and everyone just ignores him. We got to get to that point. But for now, yeah, Kanye, you're an idiot, bro.